Cerebellar lesions. The patients with cerebellar lesion do not show much symptoms when they are at rest. The symptoms are well established only when they move. The effect of lesion is always manifested on the same side of lesion, so the cerebellar lesions are always ipsilateral. So these are some of the common features of cerebellar lesions. There is no paralysis and there is no sensory defect. There is hypotonia, there is also loss of equilibrium, and on examination of reflexes, the superficial reflexes are completely normal. But the knee jerk reflex, which is a deep reflex, shows a pendular movement. Ataxia, nystagmus are also observed. So the first feature is hypotonia. So hypotonia means reduction in muscle tone due to decreased muscle resistance. So this hypotonia occurs due to destruction to deep cerebellar nuclei. So the next feature is ataxia, which is the commonest feature. The motor deficit in cerebellar disorder manifests in the form of ataxia. So ataxia may be temporary or permanent. The ataxia is temporary if only cerebellar cortex is involved in the lesion. The ataxia is permanent if both cerebellar cortex and deep cerebellar nuclei are involved in the lesion. The ataxia once again manifests in different forms: drunken gait, scanning speech, dysmetria, intention tremor, rebound phenomenon, adidacokinesia, and decomposition of movement. These are the different forms of ataxia. So the first form of ataxia is drunken gait. It is also called weight-based gait. Drunken gait means instability during walking. The patient usually falls to the side of lesion. Suppose if the lesion is on the left cerebellar hemisphere, the patient falls to the left side, and if the lesion is on the right cerebellar hemisphere, the patient falls to the right side. So the next feature of ataxia is scanning speech. Scanning speech means the speech tends to be slow and disjointed. The patient keeps repeating the syllables. The next is dysmetria. Dysmetria is also called past pointing. In dysmetria, when the patient attempts to touch an object, usually the hand overshoots instead of reaching the target. Intention tremor. So in intention tremor, when the patient attempts to touch a target object, the hand starts oscillating back and forth. In rebound phenomenon, the person with cerebellar lesion is unable to break a movement or stop a movement. For example, in a normal person, the flexion of forearm against resistance is kept in check when the resistance is suddenly released. But in a person with cerebellar lesion, the patient is unable to break the movement when the resistance is suddenly released, and the forearm flies backward like in an arc. The next form of ataxia is adidacokinesia. So here the patient is unable to do rapid alternating opposite movements. For example, repeated supination and pronation of arms. The patient is unable to do repeated supination and pronation of arms. The next feature is decomposition of movement. So decomposition of movement means the movements are dissected into individual components and they are carried out in each joint at a time. Movements cannot be performed in multiple joints, they can be performed only at one joint at a time. The next feature of ataxia is nystagmus. So nystagmus means the to and fro movements of eyeball. It is a pathological condition which occurs due to defects in vestibulo-ocular reflex. So defects in flocculonodular lobe or the vestibulocerebellum also results in vertigo, nystagmus and motion sickness. So Charcot's triad, which includes scanning, speech, intention, tremor, nystagmus. Luciani's triad includes 3A, asthenia, atonia, ataxia. LPR's triad includes 4D, dysmetria, decomposition of movements, drunken gait, dysdiadochokinesia. Friedreich ataxia is a hereditary type of ataxia which occurs due to degeneration of spinocerebellar tract. The cerebellar function tests are done to assess the cerebellar lesion. So the cerebellar function tests are broadly classified as test for upper limb extremities and test for lower limb extremities. Test for upper limb extremities include finger nose test, adiadochokinesis, then finger to finger test, drawing a circle in the air with fingertip, buttoning and unbuttoning the shirt. Test for lower limb extremities include heel knee test, walking in straight line, which is also called a tandem gait, and knee jerk reflex. So first, the test for upper limb extremities. The first test for upper limb extremity is finger nose test. So in finger nose test, the patient is asked to touch the tip of the index finger of the examiner and then the tip of his nose. He is asked to repeat this alternately with both the hands rapidly. So this test is done to assess the coordination of movements. The next test is adiadochokinesis test. Here the patient is asked to do alternate pronation and supination of forearm and arm rapidly. So this test is done to assess adiadochokinesia. The next test is finger to finger test. Here the patient is asked to bring the tip of both index fingers together. So this test is done to assess the coordination of arms and hands. So other tests like drawing a circle in the air with fingertip, buttoning and unbuttoning the shirt, they are also done to assess for the coordination of arms and hands. So now the test for lower limb extremities. The first test for lower limb extremity is heel knee test. So in this test, the subject is asked to place the heel of one leg on the knee of another leg and he is asked to move the heel along the medial side of tibia. If this test gives an abnormal result, then there is loss of motor strength, which is highly suggestive of an ipsilateral cerebellar lesion. The next lower limb extremity test is walking in a straight line, which is also called tandem gait. So the patient is asked to walk in a straight line with one foot immediately in front of the other and arms down by their side. If this test gives an abnormal result, it shows the weakness of dorsiflexion and plantar flexion of foot. The next test for lower limb extremity is knee jerk, pendular knee jerk. It is named pendular knee jerk because the knee jerk reflex gives a pendular movement, which is an abnormal movement. So in this test, the tendon of quadriceps femoris, which is just below the kneecap, is hit with a knee hammer, which results in sudden kicking movement of the lower leg in a normal person. But in a person with cerebellar lesion, on being hit with a knee hammer, there is a to and fro movement or pendular movement backwards and forwards several times. So these are the cerebellar function tests. Thank you.